What if Hollywood's golden couple suddenly found themselves stuck in a legal crossfire with one of the industry's most determined underdogs? That's exactly what's happening with Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and Justin Baldoni. And it's unfolding in a way no one could have predicted. In a world where reputations are currency and rumors spread like wildfire, this messy showdown has managed to grip everyone's attention. Their headlines scream of shocking claims, tattered alliances, and major career moves on the brink of collapse. Today, we're diving headfirst into the heart of this controversy, uncovering every twist from Baldoni's unexpected surge in court victories to the red carpet fiasco that threw Blake and Ryan's star power into question. Get ready for a journey through accusations, betrayals, and Hollywood politics so tangled you'll wonder how any of them can come out clean. Strap in, because when it comes to these three, the real story is always hidden just beneath the polished surface. Justin Baldoni, once relegated to playing the nice guy, has grabbed the spotlight in a way few saw coming. Not too long ago, people practically wrote him off as the sort of almost there actor and filmmaker who lacked the clout to stand against a top-tier couple like Blake and Ryan. His early projects earned modest buzz, sure, but no one expected him to challenge two of the biggest names in modern showbiz. Then came the bombshell. Blake Lively sued him, alleging harassment and unethical behavior on a movie set. In an instant, tabloids and social media turned Baldoni's name into the butt of ominous headlines. His phone stopped ringing. Distributors and collaborators pulled away like he was a sinking ship. As if that wasn't enough, rumors circulated that major Hollywood gatekeepers were keeping tabs, ready to blacklist him if they smelled even a whiff of guilt. But Baldoni played a patient, strategic game. Rather than throw out desperate denials, he stepped back, gathered evidence, and re-emerged with receipts that told a very different story. It was a plot twist straight out of a legal thriller. Text messages, context, and ironically comedic emojis that suddenly painted him as the victim of a possible setup. Talk about flipping the script. Once those details leaked, the crowd of doubters began shrinking. People started to ask, did we jump the gun by assuming Lively's side was the only truth? Now, Baldoni's never been more powerful. Instead of limping along, he's facing the big players, attorneys and executives included, on equal footing, if not stronger. For a Hollywood newcomer, that's nothing short of a miracle. Yet, the real question remains, how did the golden duo slip so quickly from invincible to vulnerable? While Lively and Reynolds wrestle with negative coverage, Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Fredman, is doing victory laps, or so it seems. He's held press talks, given interviews, and systematically poked holes in nearly every piece of evidence Lively's team has presented. The judge might be annoyed that the case keeps leaking into the media, but it's impossible to deny Baldoni's smart play, controlling the conversation in the court of public opinion. We're used to celebrities handling big-time lawsuits in hush-hush style, letting lawyers do the behind-the-scenes fighting, and rarely showing their own cards. Baldoni turned that approach on its head, dropping revelations in small, potent doses, so the press keeps chasing every lead. Public sentiment can swing a judge or jury before a single official verdict drops, and Baldoni understands that. That's not to say he's been squeaky clean. He's openly defied the judge's preference for quiet, fueling speculation, that he's been fine-tuning a plan to make Blake and Ryan look like the ones refusing to follow judicial instructions. To critics, it's an unorthodox method that risks backfiring and angering the court. To supporters, it's a stroke of genius. Wherever you stand, one thing is sure. Baldoni's name is on everyone's lips. By playing offense instead of cowering in defensive mode, he's giving the Hollywood power couple a taste of their own PR medicine. Let's face it, shock, exposure, and drama sell. Baldoni's simply learned to harness those forces better than most expected. This entire saga feels like it was ripped from a blockbuster script, only it's not a movie. It's the real-life downfall of Hollywood's beloved sweethearts and the rise of an underdog once overshadowed. Justin Baldoni was pegged to lose the moment Blake Lively's allegations hit the tabloids. Instead, through a combination of strategic evidence reveals, timing, and relentless media engagement, he's turned the tide in a way that has everyone gawking. On the other side, the usually untouchable duo of Blake and Ryan is left scrambling for solutions. Their comedic banter and down-to-earth image once made them Hollywood's golden standard. Now, the SNL fiasco, the questionable red carpet appearances, the swirling rumors of pushy PR tactics, and a star-studded circle that seems to be quietly retreating have chipped away at their once sterling facade. Even with big names, bankable hits, and well-loved public images, you can't outrun every scandal, especially if your opponent has receipts. What's next? Settlement or scorched earth trial? A triumphant comeback for all, or a cautionary tale about how quickly a Hollywood kingdom can crumble under the weight of a single lawsuit? With each new court date and PR statement, the tension ratchets up. Observers hold their breath, waiting to see if Ryan's next joke will lighten the mood or backfire yet again, if Blake will find fresh supporters or alienate more coworkers, and if Baldoni's wave of underdog support might carry him further than anyone ever imagined. Until the final judgment, legal or otherwise, everyone's playing a risky game where one misstep could cost them everything. In a place where illusions rule and realness is rare, this battle is giving the world an unfiltered glimpse into the high-stakes nature of stardom. One thing's clear: no matter which side emerges triumphant, Hollywood won't soon forget this drama, and neither will we. Hollywood is notorious for rallying around winners and ghosting anyone who looks like a risk. One day, you're the star everyone wants to party with. The next, your name is whispered about in corners. This abrupt shift is what sources say is happening to Blake and Ryan right now. Reports from inside circles suggest phone calls that used to be returned in under a minute now take hours, sometimes days. A-list events they once breezed into are suddenly full, or so the official statements say. Word travels fast that powerful people are rethinking collaborations with the couple, uncertain whether these headlines will overshadow any upcoming project. Studio execs track controversies like hawks, and rumors swirl that more than one endorsement deal for Blake and Ryan has paused, on the fence about continuing the partnership. It's a stunning reversal. For years, these two were the unstoppable comedic and romantic forces that anchored blockbuster after blockbuster. They raised eyebrows only for their adorable red carpet moments and social media jokes. Now that impeccable brand has cracks for the world to see, and the industry can't look away. Meanwhile, Baldoni, the supposed victim of blacklisting, finds himself with new admirers. Some producers evidently find him more intriguing now, praising the courage it takes to stand up to such established power players. That alone illustrates how quickly and dramatically Hollywood's support can shift when the narrative changes. Trials in Tinseltown rarely end up in a full-blown circus unless both sides are prepared for public mudslinging. Given the immense sums rumored, some say it's a $400 million lawsuit. Others talk about multi-million-dollar countersuits. Both sides have a whole lot to lose if they press on. Career implosions aren't just about money. In Hollywood, reputation outranks everything else. One black mark could cost you projects, endorsements, and golden opportunities for years to come. Legal experts watching from the sidelines predict a quiet settlement might be the path of least destruction. Yet, walking away often implies guilt in the court of public opinion, which could devastate Blake's and Ryan's reputations. On the other hand, a messy trial could reveal still more damaging information. And if Lively loses outright, the hush-hush deal might start to look a lot friendlier by comparison. Baldoni, for his part, seems unfazed by the size of the stakes. When asked about the possibility of a settlement, insiders say he's open, but only if Lively and Reynolds drop the allegations that he categorically calls manufactured. If that's true, he's effectively placing the burden on them. Publicly back down or meet him in court. A risky move, but it's the kind of high-wire act that's defined his entire strategy. So, as each day passes, we all wonder, are they preparing for a final knockout in court? Or are we about to witness the world's biggest hush settlement so everyone can slink back into normal life? Under mounting pressure, Blake's legal team announced they were amending the lawsuit, adding fresh allegations that supposedly reveal a pattern of misbehavior on Baldoni's part. The timing raised eyebrows since Baldoni's momentum was climbing steadily. Critics swarmed social media with theories that Blake was throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, especially since some claims seemed vague and hinged on unnamed individuals who refused to speak publicly. Fans and critics alike started grilling the new allegations. Where was this information before? Lively's defenders argued that speaking out about harassment can be a complex process. Sometimes you discover other victims only after the story breaks, but the cynics felt it was too convenient. They saw it as little more than an attempt at changing the narrative when Baldoni's receipts gained traction. Adding to the media storm, Ryan Reynolds continued to crack jokes in interviews, jokes that felt increasingly awkward when pinned against the severity of these new allegations. Many industry insiders took to private forums, describing Ryan's comedic bits as tone-deaf and ill-timed, highlighting the contradictions between serious allegations on one hand and casual laughter on the other. This discrepancy left the public torn. On one hand, comedic relief is Ryan's brand. On the other, this was a very real legal feud, with potential career-ruining consequences. Even some of the biggest Reynolds fans couldn't help feeling uncomfortable. If there's one thing that can turn a rocky case into a landslide victory in a Hollywood dispute, It's cold, hard evidence. And Baldoni has it in spades. It began with those text message threads, ones that Blake cited in her initial complaint. She had them packaged as ironclad proof of intimidation and borderline blackmail. But it didn't take long for Baldoni's team to reveal the full chain of messages, including emojis and side comments that painted the conversation as friendly banter. Banter that refuted the entire threatening context Blake's side pushed. Insider chatter claims that each new piece of evidence was deliberately timed to coincide with major public turning points in the case. Whenever Lively's attorneys did a press release or filed a motion, Baldoni's legal squad hammered back with a fresh set of texts, emails, or even eyewitness testimonies that seemed to poke holes in her narrative. It was systematic, almost like a chess game. The phrase selective editing started popping up. People openly wondered, if Blake Lively's case is as strong as she claims, why is she presenting partial text strings without the rest? It might have been a legitimate legal strategy, a focusing of relevant content, but in the court of public opinion, it reeked of potential manipulation. Now, Baldoni looks less like a nobody and more like a David, who found the perfect stones to aim at Goliath's temple. Doubt continues to mount around whether Lively's lawsuit is as bulletproof as she and her husband project. On top of that, some fans openly wonder if an external motive, like wanting total control over a film project, fueled her decision to drag Baldoni into court. On the flip side, Lively's loyal supporters are outraged at the insinuation she'd tamper with evidence, pointing out that she has less to gain by distorting facts. But for every passionate Blake defender out there, an equal number are urging, wait, let's see all the proof, let's get the whole story. Hollywood thrives on alliances. Step on the wrong toes and you'll soon find the red ropes and invitation lists disappearing. For Blake and Ryan, the combination of scandal plus miscalculations has apparently accelerated a wave of silent exits from their social circle. Multiple insiders say high-profile celebrities who once championed the couple have now pivoted to a neutral stance, politely declining interviews or red carpet moments with them. The rumor mill exploded over the supposed fallout between Blake Lively and Taylor Swift, both known for championing each other's successes in the past. Swift watchers claim she's intentionally steering clear of the Lively-Reynolds drama, not wanting to be tainted by a fiasco that only grows more complicated every day. While no public statement confirms any breakdown, absence speaks volumes. People notice who you stand beside and who's conspicuously missing. Meanwhile, other co-stars from the set of It Ends With Us reportedly felt cornered when asked to back up certain claims. The moment they sensed possible manipulation, they pumped the brakes. "I'm not wading into that," said one source. Another, who asked for total anonymity, said they felt pressured by Lively's team to share their story. They refused, not wanting to get dragged into a scandal that could blow back on them in the future. All of it begs the question, how fragile was the foundation of Blake and Ryan's Hollywood empire if one lawsuit can trigger so many quiet departures? Even as Justin Baldoni's legal stock soared, you'd expect Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds to lay low, quietly conferring with their crisis managers. But in an attempt to show their unruffled star power, they turned up at the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary celebration, smiling for cameras as if they didn't have a care in the world. At first, the crowd's reaction was more or less polite. Let's face it, Blake and Ryan have always been the kind of couple who charm you with their playful banter and power couple glow. But the mood shifted lightning fast when Ryan, with that signature comedic timing of his, made a crack referencing the lawsuit. Normally, a Ryan Reynolds wisecrack is guaranteed gold, except not this time. The air reportedly went from breezy to downright tense in seconds. Some watchers described it like a stand-up comedian reading the room horribly wrong. One part cringe, two parts disbelief, and a whole lot of, wait, did he really just joke about that? Ryan might have hoped the joke would break the ice, but it only forged a new layer of awkwardness. Attendees whispered that jokes about a serious legal case, especially one featuring claims as serious as harassment, probably wasn't the best way to say, we're doing just fine. By the time they left, both fans and fellow celebs were left with the same question. Has the stress of this lawsuit knocked their usually impeccable instincts completely off balance?